Yo, what's happening everybody, King GBL here, and welcome back to a brand new Go Bat Like video. Today we're going to be showcasing some more battles sent into the channel by Star-Lord, featuring Shadow Charizard, and you'll see the team here is quite an interesting one. We've got a triple Shadow team. Jimmy Finn would be proud here. We've got Shadow Swampert in the lead, which of course is going to do very well against the Shadow Arcanine. We have Shadow Charizard and Shadow Golbat in the back, so it's kind of like a variation of the Swampert double flyer team, which is quite interesting here. I have seen this variation a little bit this season with Golbat, of course with the buffed Poison Fang, and we're seeing a lot of double flyer teams with Charizard. Charizard is just an amazing sweeper, and it does super well in this meta. Even though we are seeing probably an uptick in lanterns, we sort of, like, in a way, are actually seeing a downtick of lanterns because they're a little bit less needed for the Noctills that have kind of been nerfed this season, backhandedly with all of the ice buffs. So it's kind of like a 50-50 if you can somehow draw out the lantern. I guess that's probably what the Golbat is here to do, and maybe debuff it and look to farm it down with Swampert or something like that. The Shadow Charizard can just absolutely sweep games in the back, and it is such a strong and amazing Pokemon. It's a Pokemon I always enjoy watching, and unfortunately I don't have a Shadow Charizard. Let me know in the comments, have you guys got yourself a normal Charizard, Shadow Charizard, or are you currently hunting for the grunts? We do have a Team Rocket event here in the next couple of days, so I highly recommend looking for that grunt, even though it is pretty rare. Anyway guys, thank you very much for all the support in the recent videos. I think 2 videos ago, I was about 5 or 6 subscribers off 2,000. Not only did we smash that, we're like only 20 away from 2100, which is insane. So listen, if you've been enjoying the videos, hit that subscribe button, and also dropping a like on the videos helps an absolute ton. Thank you everybody who does that. And with all that being said, let's hop into the battles. One last thing, if you want to submit some battles of your own, link in the description down below. Feel free to send in some Element Cop or Ultra League battles next week. And of course, let me know in the comments which you would like to see on the channel next week. I feel like I want to do a couple of Ultra League videos for like Sandslash, Golisopod, Buffed Walrein, but I think I will be doing a lot of Element Cop, so do let me know. So we have a match here against Galvantula, which generally is a positive matchup for Swampert. As you can see, we're taking this into the 2-shield, and we're going to be able to get a nice overfarm here. The opponent is looking to be in a bad position, but they do go for a catch and Registeel, and we do end up throwing off the Hydro Cannon. This is a terrible catch in my opinion, because we're going to easily outpace to the Earthquake, and the opponent's going to be in a very, very tough position here. Earthquake does not come through, the opponent just get this move off. Definitely not the play here, of course. I think there was just like a slight miscount, but here's what's going to happen. We're going to come in with Charizard, and we're going to look to CMP, we're going to look to catch on CMP on the Zap Cannon. We're just completely sacrificing this thing, knowing that it's probably a little bit dead versus the Galvantula, and we're going to look to overfarm to 100 energy and look to CMP the opponent. Star-Lord, he let it happen once, but he's not going to let it happen twice. Boom, good night. In comes Galvantula. We're going to go straight for the Blast Burn, not taking any risks, not taking any Volt Switch damage. We're going to go ahead and get rid of this as well. And in comes a Medicham in the back. And ladies and gents, this is what Charizard is all about. We're going to CMP on the Psychic. Star-Lord, he got so pissed off that he got taken out by the Registeel that he just CMP'd everything for the rest of the match, and that's what we love to see here, folks. In comes Frostlass. Swampert, I think, generally has a pretty good match against this. The Avalanche will look to one-shot, but you just outpace to these Hydro Cannons, and we're going to go for the overfarm here, of course, not CMPing the Frostlass. I think I heard today, I might be mistaken, but I think this CMP is, if I'm not mistaken, I could be completely wrong about this, but I think it's IV dependent. You guys can let me know. Okay, so after looking it up, in general, a rank 1 versus a rank 1, Swampert wins CMP, but depending on the attack weight, so Frostlass has 120.8 attack in a rank 1, Swampert has 121.1, so it really just depends on IVs, like I said. So I'm glad I'm not giving misinformation here, you love to see it. Avalanche coming through, and we can just look to Hydro Cannon this thing. The opponent goes for another catch. These opponents are just catching all the moves, but in comes Scrafty, and Scrafty's going to be met by a very nasty surprise. In comes Charizard. We're going to look to get ahead in energy here. Now, do we want to eat the foul play? I don't think it's going to be pleasant, but I think we can definitely just go for this. This is going to hurt an absolute ton. I think I probably would have came into Golbat, and we're getting a ton of lag here, which is just disgusting. We're just basically forced to go for the Blast Burn. But even though resisted, this Blast Burn does so much damage, and the opponent's not going to get a ton of farm. So that is one benefit here. I think we come in with Swampert and maybe look to go for a Hydro Cannon, or look to eat the Mud Bomb, and then potentially go for a sweep with this. Okay, we're going to go the opposite way here. Probably just decide to, we're going to debuff it and farm it down most likely here. So we're going to eat the Stone Edge on this thing. They can actually probably go for, like, if this thing's low enough, go for Mud Bombs, but this is going to look to one-shot pretty much, unfortunately. Goodbye, Golbat. I probably would have came into Golbat in the previous one. In comes Frostlass, we're going to just about get outpaced, unfortunately, and that's a good game. In comes Shiftry, a Shadow Shiftry. Funny enough, I was watching Jimmy Finn play Shadow Shiftry earlier today, and in comes a Marowak. This thing is not going to appreciate any Shadow Balls here. I can barely speak today, but what is new, folks? What is new? We've got Shadow Ball coming through, boom. good night. We are not baiting. And in comes a Machamp. We were showcasing this on the channel yesterday, and this thing is going to have a very, very bad time here. This one Shadow Ball will take it out. I probably would have went for the Poison Fang, but we'll see if they call it. They do not call it. This thing is so, so glassy. And we're maybe going to look to CMP on the Poison Fang, which you might think is bad, but the opponent's dumping energy. And at this point, they're in an amazing farm down range. Wait, that doesn't kill. The opponent does not go for the kill shot. They go for the bait. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. They're just baiting out here, and in comes Shiftry, goodbye. And in comes the next match. We swap into Golbat here, and in comes Bastiodon. So do we? Yeah, we just go straight Shadow Ball on this thing. I guess you could, maybe go for debuffs, allow you to farm it down with Swampert. But I think either way, 2 Shadow Balls puts it into like a bit more of a comfortable range for a farm down. I think we might only, yeah, we'll get 1 more Shadow Ball off. Get it roughly into like in around the 50% health range, and then hopefully look to not wait down the timer. This is one of the situations where you don't wait down the timer. You just get in here straight away. Yep, get this in straight away. See, the opponents can always burn the timer with this move. I hate this Pokemon. It is such a skillless Pokemon. I don't care what anybody says. We're going to try and farm this down, but the opponent will most likely try to swap out here at some point. We're going to end up going for a Hydro Cannon before we eat another Stone Edge, which definitely would hurt on the Shadow Swampert. The opponent shields it, which is amazing. We're going to let this go and look to probably sweep the game with Charizard as always. Now that we've got this obstacle out of the way, we're going to farm it the whole way down. The opponent's allowing us to farm them down. And in comes Altaria, and in comes Dragonite. In comes Medicham, and ladies and gents, Medicham, you've seen it once and you've seen it 1,000 times. We're going to look to go for a CMP. The opponent does not fall for it on this occasion, but this Blast Burn, if let go, will... Oh, they just decide to shield it. But this one, folks, this one is going to absolutely one-shot the Medicham. And we're looking to be in an amazing position. We've got a dynamic... What? A dynamic punch? What are you using? Pop dynamic punch? What is this team? What is this team? Dragon Claw coming through. Goodbye, Medicham. And in comes Altaria. We can get off 2 of these before they get to 1 Sky Attack. And as you're about to see, this will do over 50%. And this will look to take out the Altaria. Can we get to it in time? The opponent does get the farm down, but we do have a shield and a Hydro Cannon loaded on the Swampert. And that's going to be a good game to the opponent here. So it got a little bit close in the end. That Bastiodon shielding was definitely a surprise, and we done well to sort of dance around that. Diggersby, I've never seen this Pokemon get a good lead this season. I've used it a few times, and the opponent goes for a catch on a Azumarill. Now, I think at this point, we're going to go for an Earthquake, and then maybe look to come in with Golbat. Of course, this thing does know Ice Beams, and that does a lot of damage. I think at this point, we're just committing to this match, getting the opponent to throw energy here, and then maybe look to transition into Golbat, because of course we don't want to eat an Ice Beam on this thing. But it looks like we're just basically going to force switch here, or force a shield off the opponent. The opponent may be thinking we don't really have an answer to this, so this could be working out well. The opponent, they do let it go, and in comes this. Now we have still got the switch clock, which is amazing, and I think I probably would have came in Golbat here because the opponent will get their switch timer back. So your Charizard will be in a little bit of danger, but I think at this point we'll see what happens. We're in a very, very good position here nonetheless. The opponent goes straight for the Psychic, you love to see it. And we're going to just get an absolute ton of farm. Oh, sorry, it's Diggersby in the front, so they can't really threaten us. 1 Earthquake actually does a decent amount of damage. I'm going to be real with you, like, that happens to me while I'm playing, and it happens to me while I'm recording. I'll be like, what was the lead Pokemon again? So, let alone, see how much damage that done? That was crazy, actually. Is this over? Yeah, this surely is over, right? They can go for an Earthquake on this Golbat, which is only single resisted this time. I think we're just committing to a farm down. So it's only single resisted because the opponent goes for Fire Punch, which is not the one. It's single resisted because we've got a poison typing, and flying double resists. An amazing lead here. The opponent swaps into a Psychic type to swap into Deoxys here. And again, I think we're going to look to fire off a move. What was this move? Was this just a Psycho Boost? Yeah, that's an interesting one for sure. I think at this point we can look to go for a massive overfarm. We're going to go for the Hydro Cannon, which on the Shadow Swampert does a lot more damage. The opponent shouldn't really be shielding here. Yeah, they do let it go. And at this point, they can go for another Psycho Boost, which of course is debuffed at this point. Now that they've went for 2 of these, you might be tempted to come in with something and go for a farm down or something. But we're going to build up to the back-to-back, and we're just in such a dominant position here. I feel like in this team, like Golbat, I haven't seen Golbat be useful yet. In comes Charizard versus Venusaur, and 1 Sludge Bomb will be very, very tough. Once again, this is where I would have liked to have seen Golbat. They catch a Blast Burn, but ladies and gents, you don't want to catch a Blast Burn. Even on the resisted Talonflame, that does an absolute ton. And we're going to go for the overfarm here. If they have Brave Bird, fantastic. We just farm them down. If they go for a Flame Charge, it's annoying, but it is what it is. We're in a really dominant position here. In comes Venusaur, and we don't even have to go for Blast Burns at this point. It's just a lot safer to go for these, because all of the wing attacks, of course, with a Golbat in the back as well, we're just in an amazing position here. It would be nice to get off the Dragon Claws, but the opponent's forced to dump their energy on this thing. We're in an amazing position. We can just basically farm it the whole way down. This is getting a wee bit awkward, but like, this Sludge Bomb is going to do absolutely nothing to Golbat. This will be resisted, and yeah, it's going to be a good game from here. Sludge Bomb coming through, not very effective, and we're finally seeing some good usage out of Golbat. I've seen a few people use this Pokemon, and we get an amazing lead. Is it going to be Victreebel? Please be Victreebel. It is Victreebel. In comes Charizard, and this is going to be good night, Victreebel. This thing, will it get to a move in time? Again, this is another stupid Pokemon. Like, the fact that this thing's getting to a move with all of that damage it's doing is just ridiculous. Look how much damage that does. I can't stand this team. It's going to be Medicham in the back. Like, this is like literally the most brain dead team. I'm sorry if you run this team, but you're running this team because you know it's brain dead, right? Like, I shouldn't be offending anybody here. Like, the reason you're using this team is because it's easy to use, right? Like, so I feel pretty comfortable saying that. These Blast Burns do a lot of damage to this thing. Unfortunately, we don't quite get off 2, but Swampy's going to come in. We're not going to wait the clock down, and we're most likely going to see a Medicham in the back. Now, I have seen you can actually go for Hydro in this situation as well. This is perfectly fine. The opponent might like to shield this and swap out. They do let it go, and in comes Dragonair. So this is our Taxorus. Interesting. Okay, so the opponents, you know, they're mixing it up a little bit. These breaking swipes will rip through Golbat. So I think you're going to look to basically debuff their attack as they're debuffing. You're going to debuff their defense as they're debuffing your attack, and basically look to wing attack this thing down. These counters are resisted, and in fact the counters are double resisted. We've got poison typing, and of course we do have the flying typing. So this Pokemon can't really do a whole lot to us here. This breaking swipe coming through does a lot of damage. So, you know, if the shields are down, Haxorus can put in a lot of work, and I'm definitely looking forward to see how this performs in Ultra League, because I think it will be a lot more bulky and a lot better in that league. A very interesting team by the opponent. They're switching it up a little bit. They're using Breaking Swipe, Haxorus instead of Medicham in the back. So, you know, credit to the opponent here. You know, they're running a very spicy team, you know. This is like the highest level of spice from these users, alright? Shadow Swampert versus Shadow Swampert. Very, very interesting matchup right here. Who wins CMP? Oh, they get the lag. That's super annoying. So the opponent is going to get off the move first. Super, super annoying and super unfortunate, and that almost one-shots. We'll see if the opponent wants to take switch. They come in with Altaria, which is again very, very annoying. We'll see what we decide to come in with. We're coming in with Charizard to look to go for these, of course, Dragon Claws. And the opponents, like, unfortunately, they've left with energy and a ton of health. Now, Shadow Charizard, fun fact about this Pokemon, does beat Shadow Swampert in the 2-shield. If you just go straight Dragon Claw and Wing Attack. The opponent's going to dump a move here almost immediately. And we're going to commit to the Blast Burn. We're going to shield this up once. Commit to the Blast Burn. The opponent will be getting fairly close to another move, so it looks like we're only going to get off one move in this thing, or 2 Dragon Claws. So I think this is definitely the better one to go for here. The opponent might be tempted to dump off their energy, and a CMP would be amazing here. The opponent, again, leaves with energy and comes in with Frostlass. Now this would look to absolutely one-shot this thing, but the problem is we've got a Golbat in the back, which will be taking super effective damage, so we definitely need to get a bait through here. I think that's our only win condition. We're going to go for this, which will soften it up a little bit. Can we Wing Attack this down, potentially? The opponent does let that go, and yeah, I think they're just building up just a ton of energy here, unfortunately. You can get off another Poison Fang, which may get the shield off it. I'm not sure if you're able to even farm it down at this point. I think that's kind of the thinking here, like, get it debuffed, farm it down. The opponent should be dry. They'll be 5 off the third Avalanche. It is 6-6-5 for that. They farm down the Charizard at the same time, and in comes Swampert versus Swampert. Wait, we get the Simul KO. That is about the best possible scenario. GG's and well played. I feel like the opponent was just getting to a move. I was a little bit off probably with my counts while watching here, but, you know, my counts are off while playing, so you can't expect me to count well while watching, right? So, in comes this Mandibuzz, a very interesting Pokemon. You know, it's a Pokemon I've started to see a little bit more of this season for whatever reason. You can let me know, like, what you guys think about this Pokemon, if it's viable. I don't actually have one built, but it is very bulky, and of course knows dark type moves. Yeah, I think they're running Air Slash in this thing as well. And in comes a Jellicent. Now this thing is going to get absolutely nuked. They go for the Surf, okay. So at least they're dumping off energy, which is good. This is a very tricky Pokemon to deal with for the whole team. Swampert doesn't have an amazing match against it, neither does Charizard. Now these Earthquakes will look to do about 65-70% most likely with the Shadow. I know the normal one does in around 50%, and we're going to let a Surf go. I think we're just kind of pretending we're not weak to this thing. But I think coming in with Swampert is a pretty big tell here. Earthquake coming through, the opponent lets it go, that's incredible. If we did not get that Earthquake through, it was just game over, I feel like. In comes Trevenant, and we're going to look to sweep with Charizard once again. Now, the opponent is not swapping straight out here. We look to go for a Dragon Claw. They will go for either a bait here, or of course, they go for a Seed Bomb. Like, what's the point, bro? You just full send the nuke. That was not a CMP. The opponent denied us, so that's actually a probably better case scenario, because it means you can farm this down, get more energy, and maybe just commit to the farm down on this thing, or try to get up to 3 Dragon Claws. I think you just commit to the full farm down, the opponent realizes it and stops attacking, and that's a good game. So Jellicent, very tough one, but sometimes just full sending the move is your win condition, and I just love to see people full sending the nuke. In comes Deoxys, really good matchup here. I think this is a bonus battler too with Machamp. We've got Machamp in this team now, instead of Charizard, so thank you very much once again to Star for sending these in. If you want to see his submission from yesterday with the Machamp, check out yesterday's video. Really fun video. I said I was going to upload yesterday, but we're uploading this today, and I've got a few battles that I've got recorded where I was just getting hard countered left, right, and center. Let me know in the comments if you've made it to this point in the video. Do you want to see that video where I was overcoming a lot of hard counter games? And I'll definitely upload that later today. But yeah, thank you very much everybody for watching. We'll watch the rest of this battle here, and then we'll part ways, folks. We're going to have to part ways. We're going to catch, hopefully, a Zap Cannon here in Swampert, which would be absolutely amazing. Focus Blast, stupid. They're baiting. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely beating in public. It's just, you just hate to see it. You just hate to see it. Will this Hydro Cannon take them out? Let's have a look. It probably would have. Are we going to go for another CMP? The opponent just about gets the move here. And yeah, it's kind of rough trying to farm this down. But the thing is, the opponent's completely dry, right? So we can come in with Machamp and just beat the shit out of this tin can and look to probably fire off a Cross Chop or Rock Slide. Will the opponent stay here and get farmed down? They do not. And in comes Deoxys. And even though Deoxys is very good against Machamp, nothing is good against Machamp whenever it's got energy. This thing's going to absolutely wreck them. Oh, it doesn't actually knock it out. We go for the combo play here with the Poison Fang. Love this play right here. I love this little bonus battle at the end with Machamp. It's a little bit of a teaser, you know. I'll put a little card in the top right, you know. You can go check out that video. There we go, little teaser for last video. In comes this Pokemon here, Scrafty. We're going to like to go for Poison Fangs in this thing, and look to just do a ton of damage with the wing attacks. I'm sure you guys can see what's about to happen here. Shadow Machamp is lurking in the back. He's just waiting, he's just lurking, he's being patient. The opponent's going to go for a foul play here to take us out, and it just about does. And we're going to go ahead and punch this thing down, and come out with another move. The opponent's going to come back in with the tin can, but they're not going to get to a move in time, and that's a good game. Thank you very much everybody for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Drop that like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow, or later on today, for a brand new video.